Hello guys, my name is Zach, and in this video I'm gonna talk about the importance of looking inward, the importance of looking into what's really going on inside of us. So the lesson in here is that the problems in our life are really a reflection of the fears that we have inside of us. What do I mean by that? So if you have the fear that people are gonna laugh at you when you talk or when you express, then you're gonna encounter a lot of obnoxious people who will be mean to you and say some mean things. If you feel like you're ugly inside of you, if you believe that you're not beautiful, you will have people who will make you feel that way even more. They will highlight your insecurities, they will highlight your imperfections. Similarly, if you have a fear that you're not smart enough, deep down, these are things that we don't normally say to ourselves, we just feel them. So if you have a feeling that you're not smart enough, you're gonna have people in your life, you'll encounter people, many people in your life, who will make you feel like you're dumb. Maybe they will question what you say, they will correct your mistakes. The end result, you're gonna feel dumb. Why is it? Why is life doing this to us? Why? Mainly because life is just reflecting what you have inside of you. I'll tell you a little story about me, just so you can get the full idea. This is something that I've experienced in my life as well. Ever since I was a child, I always felt like I was ugly. I didn't like how I look. I don't know where that came from. Maybe it came from my parents, came from someone else. I don't know. I just had that belief inside of me when I was young that I was ugly, and because I was ugly and stupid, this is why life was really mean to me, and this is why. So I had this voice inside of me that really, I didn't really like who I am when I was a child. And guess what the world did? The world reflected back to me what I felt about myself. I had a lot of bullies in my life, a lot of people who mocked me, people who abused me, because people who they marked my imperfections. They did a lot of mean things to me, because again, it is really a reflection of who I am. Obviously I didn't realize that. I was young. I was just really trying to understand, why is this happening? And I was like, why are there so many mean people in this world? And why are people mean to each other anyway? Why are they mean to me? Why can't they be mean to someone else? Why is it only me that they're mean to? And I didn't really understand. I had all of these questions, and I didn't understand until when I started growing up. But I started learning about spirituality and about psychology. I really started to understand that I was asking the wrong questions. Those were not the questions that will give me the answers that I wanted. The most profound question that I asked myself was, what did I think of me? It almost like I became a little bit silent, and I really blocked the whole world, try to really go inside and see what is going on inside of me. So I asked myself, what did I think of me? And the answer was really shocking to me. I was really shocked. I was like, really? What did I think of myself? Well, I thought I was unworthy, I thought I was unlovable, and I thought I was useless. Those are really strong beliefs that I had about myself. Wonder why life reflected back to me exactly what I thought. And when I realized this, I also realized another voice inside of me that knew my value. It knew my eternal value that has no questions. It knew the journey that I've gone through. And it really loved me. That voice loved me. There's a part of me that loves who I am, that respects who I am, that values who I am. There's also that fearful voice that has the opposite, that says the opposite. And I started noticing these two voices inside of me. And I'm like, okay, so I have these two voices inside, and I've always leaned into the fearful voice, and that was a choice. And that inner voice, the fearful voice, you know, some people, if you go to psychology, they call it the inner critics. I don't like to call it inner critic, because it's not just a critic. It's not an inner critic. It's a fearful voice. It's a voice that you haven't listened to. Because of that, it is the reason why it's so loud and it really controls a lot of people's life, is because they don't listen to it. They don't share it. You know, they're not dealing with it. They're not addressing it. So when I started really listening in to this voice, I realized that I started asking myself, where did that come from? Where did that voice come from? And I also asked, what does that voice need? The most profound answer that I had was, that voice needed me to hear. It needed me to listen to what it's saying. So I started listening to what it's saying and what it needs. And obviously I've had a lot of help with this. I didn't do this on my own. I had a lot of help with it. And then when I started doing this, my life started to change. And that voice started to become much more silent. And it started to take a step back and not really control aspects of my life. And the people who were so mean to me, the people who were making a lot of comments and a lot of jokes and a lot of, you know, I won't go on, they disappeared from my life. Or they just don't do that anymore. You know, it's funny how the moment you change what's inside of you, what's outside instantly change. So if you still think that you're gonna change something by doing like a practical thing on the outside without changing on the inside, I really think this is just an illusion, and you're gonna work really hard without much progress. Because the progress happens when we change what's the inside. That's when progress happens. That's when real change happens. So after I realized this, I started to notice that I wasn't the only person who had this voice. Everyone else did. Everyone else had this voice inside of them. The only difference is that some were not aware of it. They haven't noticed that they had this voice. They almost identified with it. Almost it became who they are. And this is one. The other people, they realize that they had this voice. They know that they have it, but they haven't had the courage to ask someone. They haven't had the courage to share what this voice has to say. And it's a problem. It's a problem with these two people, because if you don't share what that fearful voice says, it's gonna have more power over you. It's gonna run your life. The more you share it with people who are trustworthy, people who have the presence and the attention to give you, a non-judgmental attention to give you, without this, it's really hard to manage this, because at the end of the day, if you manage it on your own without any help, I'm not saying that you can't at all. I'm just saying that it's really hard, because you're really going almost to battle with your own mind. You know, it's part of you. So it's really helpful to have somebody who's becoming aware of this already, and who has that presence, they can give you the presence. I am more than happy to do that. If you want help with this in your life, and you realize that you feel maybe deep inside that you're not enough, or you feel like this is real. You know, you might think that this is real. This is all our thoughts. This is not real. You know, me thinking of myself in one way, it's just a thought. So if you think that, if you battle with this voice and you're not able to get anywhere with it, then reach out to me. I am more than happy to help. I will be there. I'll help you. I'll guide you through it. Or reach out to someone else. You know, reach out to another life coach who will help you through this. Or reach out to a friend, a trusted friend. The most important thing is that you reach out. Don't just battle this on your own. You don't have to do that. Life is, you know, we are here as human beings to help each other. So you don't have to battle this on your own. Reach out. This was it, guys. I know it was a deep video, so I hope that you got some benefits from it and you will take actions from it. If you're watching this video in the morning, I hope you have a lovely day. And if you're watching it in the evening, I hope you have a blessed and a peaceful night. Thank you.